Thank you for your response. Um, I wanted to shift the conversation a little bit and talk about your mom because you shared with me that your mom is who connects you to the fraction lineage.
Correct.
So I wanted you to kind of just talk about your mom, what you remember about her, things that you enjoyed about her, things she taught you, etc.
Well, obviously a great woman. What are you gonna say? She was great voice, great music. Well, not musician, great singer. She actually sang at the Republican and Democratic or conventions in Minneapolis. Very church going. Of course, everybody was in the black community. I mean, you saw everybody on Sunday for the most part, and they played football across from the church. Um, no, she was pretty good. Loving, she loved her grandkids. Well, loved her kids as well. Um, but I don't know. She was great. I don't know what you say. I mean, she's your mom.
Right.
What are you gonna do? She was there for me when I needed her. Uh, Even the whole issue where I had mentioned about getting caught up in that whole deal, and they then decided to go to the service. Well, I'm sitting in Crystal Slammer, and like 3 in the morning, the little food thing opens up, and there's my mom peering through it,
Oh.
and I'm like, "18, really, dude? You called my mom? Come on, really?" But she came down, and she was supportive. She's been supportive in everything we've done. She's really enjoyed when she'd come and hear the show, which she did on several occasions. Um, she loved to dance to Green Onions, the Booker T and the MG song. She has her Green Onion dance. It's just hilarious. But yeah, she was just great. Once my dad passed, she was very strong. She wanted to stay up in Brainerd against our wishes because it's 2.5 hours. It's just too far to drive up there and check on stuff. And there'd be constant welfare checks. Well, one time because her phone was unplugged, nobody could get a hold of her for God knows how long. We don't know what's going on. Send the cops. They come up, and she's so embarrassed that we had the police come and that type of thing. But very generous. Wouldn't if we had family things, she'd be up there helping out. She wasn't like a, wanted to be a diva and sit there and be waited on. She was right in the mix with everybody.
Mhm.
So yeah, just wonderful. I mean, how do you say something
Right.
bad about your mom? No, very wonderful woman, and lived till 87, which is kind of died tragically for the most part, as far as I was concerned. But um,
What do you mean by
well, again, a welfare check thing. She's up in Pequot Lakes areas where they were. They lived on a lake, 2.5 hours north. I guess Pequot Lakes means nothing to you guys. But I'm down in Red Wing. I've got a big boat slip down there. So I'm down in Red Wing. And one of her friends was going to come up and they were going to go to lunch. And because people would be visiting up there. And the friend goes up and knocks on the door. She didn't answer. So she called my brother Greg. Hey, is your ma here? Yeah, she should be. So we're calling her. Nobody could get in. Or no, the doors was locked. So we ended up calling a welfare check again. Go see what the deal is. Maybe she's fallen and can't get up or whatever. Well, the lady that went up to go out to lunch with her noticed on this bathroom window that there was moisture, like steam. Huh. Well, that's unbelievable. So the cops showed up. They called me up and they said, well, the doors are all locked. What do you want me to do? I go, well, bust one down. You get inside, see what the deal is. So they go around to the back, break the door in. She immediately ran upstairs, looked into the bathroom, and there's my ma passed away in the bathtub. And so then they called up, and we get this text: she's gone. What do you mean she's gone? What? She's dead? Yeah, she's gone. Oh, are you kidding me? So we left. Everybody kind of took off up there. Well, by the time I got from Red Wing, which is an hour and a half from here, and then 2 hours up there and dropping off the boat, well, the cremation society and everybody else had already picked her up, so I never even there was a, she was cremated, so it wasn't a casket thing or none of that type of deal. But yeah, it was just tragic. She just had basically a heart attack in her jacuzzi bathtub, we assume. They didn't do an autopsy or none of that because 87 years old, got several issues, why bother type of thing. But I was a little disappointed that by the time I finally made it up there, they had already picked her up and took her to Duluth, which is another 2 hours north of that because they kind of divide up the state with the society and whatnot. Did the cremation up there and then drove her all the way back down here type of thing. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, it's like, seriously? That's too bad. So yeah, I never got there. And then the cops, they kind of put her on the floor and her friend says, "What? Really? You want to cover her up with something? I mean, really? You're just going to leave her? Oh, we want to wait. Well, put a towel or something over. I mean, come on. You guys are just unbelievable." So, but that's how that all worked out. So it was kind of tragic. I mean, not tragic like car accident tragic, but tragic that you didn't see it. Nobody seen it coming. She was just doing fine. Everything was great. Loved being up there. She was learning how to work a screw gun. She was so happy she fixed this little bench and painted this little thing. And then next thing you know, boom, bang. It's like, wow, that was quick. So that's kind of what that was all about for the most part.
Thank you for sharing that with
Yeah,
us.
sure, not a problem.
What would you say one of, or maybe the most valuable lesson your mom ever taught you is?
Probably just to be yourself. Don't take, she'd say, you know who you are. Don't let anybody else tell you who you are.
Mm.
And that stuck with me for a very long, I think it helped me through, because Dad was generally busy and, gone type of thing, but that helped considerably that I can go to these places. And basically I took the opinion is, I don't care what you people think what you want to think. I'm going to be in this store. I'm going to be in this restaurant. If you got a problem with that, then that's your issue. That's not my issue. So, and I kind of tell my kids that don't let anybody define who you are. The only people who can do that is you. And some people define it in a good way. Some define it in a bad way, but don't let anybody tell you that you can't do this because of that. You can't do this because of this, so that's probably one of the most valuable things.
I love